That's how we don't have official starts to our interviews, anyways.
That's fine.
But let's do it. So Tucker Wetmore, sold out show.
Yes, sir.
The show at District 142 sold out, and I heard 8 minutes.
Oh, did you know the exact time?
I didn't know that. I knew it sold out pretty quick. I didn't know it was 8 minutes.
Is 8?
That's what I heard.
8 minutes fast? That's fast.
That's plenty of time.
Yeah,
it's long enough.
Depends on what you're
enough
talking
time.
about.
I know, that's right.
I knew where
as
she was
soon
going.
as I started asking, I go, "That's not a question. Never mind that question." But it's enough time for people to log in and hit pay and find their credit card information.
Is it? Do you ever feel like, whoa, like this life is crazy that these things are happening
every day?
Yeah,
literally every day. It's hard to wrap my head around it because it's just like so fast and go that I don't really have any time to sit back and be like, oh, this is really cool. But every once in a while, I'll take moments and be like, pat myself on the back, or and it's like, it's cool. It's so cool.
When do you remember, like as far back as when you were a kid? When do you remember dreaming about the stuff that's now happening?
Like, when did the dream start? Like 6, 7?
I think the dream started. And I didn't really even know it. I just loved music. So I started playing piano when I was 11. And I heard of a guy named Jerry Lee Lewis and, Billy Joel and Elton John and stuff like that. So or Beethoven, I'll just sit there and rip on the piano for hours and hours for years. And, that's where my love for music started. I really started chasing it 2019. Moved to Nashville in 2020.
So did you want to start the piano, or was that like your mom's like, I'm gonna put you in the piano lesson? It was you.
She didn't even know I played piano until like 6 months into me playing, because I had like a little keyboard, probably like 40 something keys, super small, in my room, and I would shut the door and have it really quiet, and I would just sit there and play.
What?
Just for myself. Yeah.
That's crazy. Because usually it's like, I always feel like it's like your mom or your dad that's like, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna learn. Like,
it was always sports.
Okay, what sports were you playing growing up?
Football, baseball, track. Went to college for football in Montana.
Once again, there's
a common theme where country artists are athletic. You're very athletic. You could go be a pro baseball player, football player, or go. A lot of times there's an injury.
Did you have an injury?
I broke my leg.
See?
Yes, he broke his leg. And then we get music. This is the best leg break ever.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Was that the path you were going down before that injury?
Yeah, that was my goal.
Yeah.
I wanted to make it in the draft. I wanted to, make
do all
the
that
league and stuff like that.
Did you feel devastated when was it devastating? Or you're like, well, I'll get music?
A little bit.
Okay.
So like beforehand, for a couple months there, something didn't feel right. I felt like I wasn't on the right path, and I grew up super religious. My grandpa was a pastor, but at the time I was just partying and playing football and hanging out with my friends.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
So I was kind of like leaning away from my faith a little bit, and I'm not proud to say it, but it's true. And I remember coming home from practice towards like the end of the year, my freshman year, because I redshirted my freshman year. It was during spring ball. I came home from practice, locked myself in the bathroom, and I just started bawling, like just weeping, crying. And then I was like, hey, man, I know it's been a while, but I need a sign, and I need it quick because I don't know. Everything's going right. I'm, Scout Player of the Year, #1 receiver for the next 4 years. Everything was going right, but I was like, I need a sign. The very next play, or the very next day, very first play of the practice, I run a post of a middle, break my leg in 3 places.
Oh, my gosh.
Come on.
So obviously
power of the prayer, but you're like, but it's always like
it's a
Garth Brooks song on Unanswered Prayers. It's because is that the same?
He did
answer it. He got the prayers
though.
answered. Yeah, but it wasn't the
in
way.
a very tough way though.
Because I would have been like, couldn't you have given me a different path, a different?
I know, you didn't have to break, but that's what I needed.
My leg.
That's what I needed to be like, no, this is my sign. And I remember thinking that, laying on the ground.
You're like, well, there it is. You're like, you have a sense of humor, don't you? You're like,
100%.
Okay, I get it. You could have given me a little bit easier of a sign.
Yeah. I was like, ow, this hurts. And I was like, no, that's my sign right there. And I left.
And then you knew it was a sign.
I dropped out right after that, like a week later.
Fascinating.
You mentioned moving to Nashville in 19, and I hate talking about the pandemic because I'm like, we're past it. But obviously the timing that you moved there, that must have been another big hurdle because as soon as you get there, the world shuts down.
So I moved in 2020, so the world was already shut down.
So you already knew that. Like,
I already knew, yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything. I just listening to God. He told me to go to Nashville, so I was like, all right, let's roll.
Have you? We don't. I mean, I'm wondering if I know we go to church a lot, and I've heard of people hearing an audible voice. feel like have you heard an audible voice?
It hasn't been like Tucker.
Well, that's what I'm like. Some people, some people claim to actually hear a voice. I talk to God. I've never heard a voice, but I feel like that would just be unbelievable. I was wondering, like, if you seem.
Do you
so
think
close.
it's a figurative voice? Nobody says they heard like an actual.
Some people claim to hear an actual voice.
Like it's George Burns or something talking to
I
somebody.
don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but you haven't. Have you heard this?
No,
before?
no. It's more of just a feeling.
I have heard of people
You
hearing
learn
an
to
actual
listen
voice.
by feeling.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Who's
a good God voice?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah.
That's who you imagine hearing, but maybe it's not.
Maybe it's Jim Carrey.
Maybe it's a
he
lady.
played God in the movie.
Maybe
I wish it's Jim Carrey for me. He'd be like,
I'm fine with the God I got. That's all I'm saying.
he's like, let me tell you something, and then like, I'm gonna break your leg, and then you're like, it's broken.
It's whoever you want it. It's whoever you want it to be.
I'm so sorry. Is this? Can I ask you something that's? This is.
Go ahead.
I hope you know me well enough to know that this is.
We're getting to know each other.
We're getting to know you. Why didn't you change your last name? Because your last name, in my immature status, makes me giggle. But I think as an artist, you could change your last name, but you don't. Because I have never changed my last name. I got married and I was like, I'm not changing my name. It's too much paperwork.
Yeah.
But like, I was wondering, well, it is a lot of paperwork.
Okay.
I was wondering what it was for you to not change to like an artist.
I almost did.
Name.
So my middle name is Payson.
Okay.
So I almost went by Tucker Payson.
Which could have worked.
It could have worked. But Tucker Wetmore is who I am.
Yeah, you can't, because you're never going to forget it.
I love my last name. It's sick. You
Yeah.
know? And people make signs at the shows, being like, Tucker makes me Wetmore. And stuff like that. You know, it's like, it
so
works.
funny. It does work.
Well, let's talk about Waves on a Sunset
Let's do it.
a little bit. So how long was the process for you? I know some of these songs for people take sometimes they take 10 minutes. Like they just come out of you. As a songwriter, how does it normally work for you for the most part with your writing?
Depends on the song. Like Wine to Whiskey was probably an hour and a half, right? Wind Up Missing You was probably a little less than that. They just kind of fell on the paper. But there's other songs that take, sometimes even weeks. Like there's a song that we're working on for the album in the future that we're still working on. It's been months. But yeah, I mean, I've been writing every day for the last over 3 years, just trying to build that catalog. And then when the rocket ship started, we got stuff to answer it with, which is really cool.
We want to get the story of Wind Up Missing You too. And we asked 3 questions. Where were you? What were you thinking? And what were you drinking? And who were you with?
That was
4 questions.
Well, who's counting?
I'm only answering 3.
Yeah. Take the 3 that you wish. Yeah.
So I was at my producer's place, Chris LaCourte, with a buddy of ours, Thomas Archer. And I had actually just written Wine and a Whiskey that Monday. So my birthday was Sunday. I wrote Wine and a Whiskey super hungover on Monday with 2 of my really good buddies. And then Thursday, I wrote Wind Up Missing You. And I walked in there. I was like, man, I want to be in a good mood. The sun's shining. And I told them this, and I was like, let's just write something fun. It doesn't have to make sense. I don't care if it's even a good song. Let's just write something fun. I want to have a good time. And they're like, all right. So Chris started playing that riff, and then Thomas Archer had the Wind Up Missing You idea. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but it's cool. And then I started freestyle. I literally started freestyling the chorus. I was like, you look like waves on a sunset. And then Thomas goes, what is that? I go, I don't know, write it down. But
and that's how it happened.
It just kind of fell on the paper. Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Water.
Water.
It was midday.
Yeah.
I was still hungover from Sunday.
It's funny. All the hit songs have been written, except for like one that we've ever heard, over water. Maybe like one was written over whiskey and one over tequila.
Yeah.
But mostly water is
essential.
Water is the essential for hit songs.
Yeah.
You would never think it.
Oh, we were talking about before we started. We were talking about hangover cures.
Yep.
And
we want your hangover cure.
You mentioned grounding was your hangover cure.
Well, yeah. So you're talking about grounding, but sometimes when I'm super hungover in the morning, I'll fill up a big old bowl of ice water, like just dump my ice tray and throw some water in there, dunk my head in it, and then I'll go outside and take my shoes off and just stand in the yard.
How long are you standing there? Rob says you have to stand there for 30 minutes.
At least.
My attention deficit disorder is only giving me 30 seconds.
I can't do 30 minutes. Maybe like 5 to 10.
5 to 10. Okay.
Or at least until I don't feel like throwing up anymore.
Okay.
You know.
Try it. I would say
be there until you stop feeling like you're
you
gonna
have to
puke.
go watch the Earthing movie
Okay.
on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
It's all about grounding, and then go do it when you're not hungover. Just take your shoes off, stand in the yard, look at the sun, close your eyes, talk to God.
Okay.
Just take your time, look around, soak it in, and tell me what happens after 30 minutes. I think it's life.
If I start floating, I'm.
You don't have to do it, but I did tell Rob that he's turning into a hippie. Side note, like he's
I am,
he's
and
got a
it's
lot of
great.
hippie
It's great.
attributes going lately.
It's sick.
It started to change my life. I'm only 1 week in, and I'm like telling everyone I ordered there's sheets. I ordered the grounding sheets that you can get.
What?
Yeah, that's what he does. That's like his.
I'm
he's
all,
he's
I'm
all
zero.
in or nothing.
I'm 0
yeah.
or 100, and I'm like I've already seen the benefits of this. I swear. It's
It
You're
stops
glowing.
your hangover.
Yeah.
You're glowing.
Obviously, it stops hangovers.
it'll change your life.
I wish I would have known.
Let's try it out.
Yeah.
Well, I'll work on that.
Send me the link to those sheets.
Yeah.
Did you have you got any golf lessons yet from TR?
Not yet.
Rob,
I
for
mean,
the people who's TR.
Thomas
to you.
Rhett.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I have not yet.
You know, TR.
I'm so excited for that tour though. It's gonna be so sick. Just music and golf and hanging out with the dudes. It's gonna be great.
That'll be fun.
So have you got a chance to hang with him at all yet?
Not
or
yet. I mean, we text and FaceTime every once in a while, but
Yeah.
other than that, we're just busy.
I bet you he grounds.
I think.
I bet you he does. He looks like a
I'll ask
grounding
him.
kind of guy.
He'd probably
Yeah.
golf. What I would do
Golf
is
and ground.
I would golf barefoot as well.
That's,
you
that's a
then
GG.
you,
Oh, yeah.
then you can ground the whole time.
Yeah.
Tim knows what I'm talking about.
TR does GG.
What's that? Tim Roberts. That's right. The original TR. Well, dude, we're so
goofy.
excited. A sold out show tonight, District
sir.
142.
Hey.
Congratulations on everything, and thank you for making a stop at MusicTown in Detroit City.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for
the
having me.
music.
It's so much fun.